Hi, welcome to Rein It In. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
So we had promised a Dragon Con follow-up episode, and then 8 weeks passed or something.
Yeah.
Not quite. 6? I don't know. A long time passed, and we just don't really feel like doing that because it was too long ago. We've got some other stuff for you.
Right. Although it was still pretty good Dragon Con. We had the best costume I think we ever made, Bob's Burgers, Dragon with a Girl Tattoo.
Yes, which was awesome.
Well executed. We got some good plans for next year. But, yeah, mostly we've been kind of busy. I've had some work travel, and...
I've had some work travel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And you had friend travel, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just been, the time got away from us. So we decided to catch up before I actually take a big trip out to London. Part of my job, I'm getting a global experience program, and I get to live in London for 4 weeks. So that's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. I mean, except for if you're me and you're not going to be there for 4 weeks.
Yeah, but you're coming out, right? You're visiting me for 2. I'm staying for an extra week for vacation, right? So you'll be out there for 2. I'll be out there for 5. Poor Kat will be home alone. Well,
only
with
for
a
2.
house sitter.
Yeah.
For 2.
But yeah, we're going to Wales. We're going to London. We're going to Cambridge. We're going to Tintern Abbey. We're going places, but not today. Today?
No, but in 5 days.
Well,
I get on a plane to
Yeah.
go. So we wanted to get on an episode before I head out, and we thought this would be a good opportunity for us to kind of chat about how we've maximized some work travel opportunities and kind of things we've done to be able to travel not only on our own dime.
Right. Although my work travel is very nominally funded.
Right. Still kind of on our own dime, but good point. And of course, we're not expensing anything that's not part of the work part.
Yeah,
because we're
for sure.
responsible adults.
Yes.
But yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give a top 10-ish or
we're
2
adults.
top 5s. Yeah, we are adults.
I don't know if we're responsible.
Well, yeah, maybe. I
It's
think.
responsible-ish.
All right. Well, let's take a quick intro break, and then we'll get to our top 5s combined.
Top 5s.
All right.
So what we want to talk about today with you is maximizing work travel, right? Like we said. So what we did was we both came up with 5 sort of
Ish.
5-ish, 5 sort of ish trips that we had taken for work. We mostly limited it to trips where we've met up or gone together as opposed to solo trips.
Did we? I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh.
Well, mostly. Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about what makes something memorable and what was worth commenting on in here. And I think one of the things that work travel, at least for me, and I travel as an academic for conferences, is that you go to places that I would never choose to go to otherwise, and often they surprise me.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start with Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a place that I never would have gone on my own, likely. I mean, it's only 3 hours away from where we are in Atlanta. It's not far. 3 hours by megabus.
Right.
Maybe 3.5 by megabus. But I never would have gone there if it wasn't for a conference. But I have really enjoyed the city, the couple of conferences that I've been there for. And Matt came and met me for both of them.
Yeah. I don't remember a ton of stuff about it. I remember the Capitol building that has cannon holes.
Cannon holes from the Civil War.
Very small cannon holes.
I mean, the racist monuments, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And also the civil rights monuments. They're a strange combination, both and.
There was some interesting stuff at the University Art Museum. That wasn't the University Art Museum. That was actually just the Columbus Art Museum, wasn't it? Or Columbia.
Columbia. Let's see. What else did we do there? Well, I mean, most epically on the way back from one of the trips, we picked 14 pounds of blueberries.
Yeah. So if you can come back from Columbia, South Carolina
In June.
toward Atlanta or any place that takes you through, was it? I don't know. Remember if it was in South Carolina or if it was in Georgia. Where
it was in South Carolina still, I think. Yeah, it wasn't very far outside of Columbia. It was probably half an hour southwest of Columbia.
Yeah.
We went to a blueberry picking farm. We picked a lot of blueberries. A lot of blueberries. Got some
good.
sunburn,
Yep.
and everything was delicious. So So that one makes my list because ultimately it was a pretty nice city, and I never would have gone there if it wasn't for conferences. And I've actually been there twice for conferences. Both times, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I kind of had, for my first one is actually 2, and but it's actually like both of our first trips. And not because they were amazing. Actually, so the first one, right, the first one you ever had was you went to a conference when you were in your master's program to Houston, which was, I've got family that lives in Houston, and
Sorry,
they
Houston
love
lovers.
it. But I don't really understand Houston. I think
I don't
we
like
haven't
it at
been
all.
quite to the right places. But during that trip, we epically had the longest, most expensive cab ride that we had ever had in our lives.
Oh, right, with
maybe
Meatwad.
still. And the cab driver was in an argument with his girlfriend or wife about how he wasn't cheating on her. He was driving passengers. And the
Which
hardest
was,
part...
I mean, half of that was true. I don't know if he was cheating on her,
Right.
but at that moment he definitely was driving passengers.
Yeah. But he sounded exactly like Meatwad from Hunger Team.
Aqua Team Hunger Force.
Yeah, Aqua Team Hunger Force. And I realized this and then told Rachel, and we were in the back of the van trying not to crack up while this guy's having an argument with his girlfriend or wife or whatever. I felt bad, but man, he sounded like Meatwad.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
Yeah.
No, baby. No, baby. He just kept saying that.
Yeah, we also...
In Meatwad voice.
So this was early on, right? We didn't have a lot of extra funds for doing stuff. We can splurge a little bit more these days. Back to that adults thing.
Right.
But we also went out to that restaurant. We were going to splurge on a fancier restaurant while we were there, and I don't even remember what the hell the place was. And I had the special, which was it was extremely good. I forget exactly what it was. It was like scallop and some other things. It was like
It was a lot of seafood.
3 seafood proteins and like a good amount of them. But a lot of times they don't tell you what the cost of the special is. And
But you also assume that it would be within the cost of other menu items.
right, at least maybe just a little bit more than the top menu item. But it was almost 3 times more than the next thing.
It was $50 for the special, which is just...
No, I guess it wasn't 3 times because everything else on the menu was like 25 or something.
Yeah.
And that's, when we're talking about Atlanta prices, or probably fancy steakhouses or whatever. But still, it was just like twice as much as anything else on the menu.
Like 15 years ago, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, $25 for an entree is fairly standard now, but 15 years ago, that was... I mean, it's fairly standard for fancy food.
Yeah.
But already $25 seemed pretty high, and 50 for a special is just...
seemed excessive
crazy.
without any sort of warning. But it was good. That was the only thing that saved it.
Right.
We had kind of a nice walk. It was funny how at that point in time, who knows how downtown Houston on a weekend has changed, but there was nobody outside. We saw 3 people walking. We saw 2 cars. It was like we were straight out of Night of the Meteor or whatever, one of those ridiculous 80s movies where everybody on Earth dies except for a couple people.
Yeah, that is how it felt.
Yeah. So, but it was a fun experience, right? That was our
It was a fun
step
experience.
into it, and we realized, go for it.
I realized that Houston's not my favorite city.
Yeah, right. But it also made us realize, we can look for opportunities where we need to travel. And you were at that point were much more likely to travel than I was.
Right.
And it was fun. And so the other one that I have, because I'm going to do 2 here, because it's kind of that first travels, was we also had, when I worked for an internet service provider in Colorado, way back at that same time, pretty much. Actually, right after we got married,
Right.
I guess it would have been. I got to go to a industry conference, Usenix,
Which
in Boston.
my brain always wants to rearrange to unisex. But
Yeah, and company paid for my ticket to get out there, my hotel, and I just happened to get an amazing hotel room there. It was really high floor in whatever the conference hotel was, and it had real high windows. And for some reason, do you remember this? The TV center was one of those old school tube TVs. You didn't have a lot of flat screens yet, so entertainment systems were
back in
built
2004 here, people.
I know the entertainment systems were built like tanks, right? So there was a gap between. It was in front of the window, which was kind of strange. But we turned off all the lights and we sat on top of the TV center, which was
Substantial.
it was 6 feet up or something like that. It was tall, and looked out the tall windows. That was pretty fun.
It was
the
fun.
city. Yeah.
Boston's a good city, and actually Boston sort of makes it onto my list too, although a different trip. So I had been there for an MLA, which is like the main English conference, and I had been there in the winter in January, and Matt wasn't with me, and I was like really bummed. Not really bummed, but I was like, I had a really good time, and I was like, I wish Matt was here. We could hang out and do fun things. And then you got sent back for a second conference just like 5 months later.
Yeah, that
So
wasn't even a
was
conference.
perfect.
That was my old company sent me to kind of semi last minute to do a training
Oh, that's right.
for I don't know who the hell was it, some government
Yeah.
organization, but like my work portion of that trip was a little bit high stress and
Oh, yeah.
not perfect, but we did do a bunch of fun stuff. We've been to Boston a bunch of times for work stuff. Then 3 times,
3 times, yeah.
and then 1 time on our own.
No.
No, only on work things.
Yeah, no, we've only gone to Boston to work things, I think.
Well, we've got some friends who might be moving there if things go well, poorly. I mean, it'll go well because it'll be awesome if that opportunity comes up for them, but it'll be tough to have them leave town.
Don't jinx it.
No.
Or do jinx it.
No,
Jinx
right. I want
away.
to go visit them there. I want to visit them there.
Anyway,
All right, so that's Boston, Albuquerque. I kind of went to. We shared that one. You can go again.
oh, okay. Well, you said Albuquerque, so I guess I'll follow up. with
Oh, I
that.
did say Albuquerque. I'm reading my list wrong.
So Albuquerque was another really early on one, and that one we were living in Colorado, so we drove, which was a pretty long drive. But so the benefit of that was in like sort of methods for maximizing things is that we actually stopped in Santa Fe also on the way back, so we kind of got two cities in there. Now, whenever I take all these like, have you had these experience quizzes? And I can check off the Route 66 all the time now because of our trip to Albuquerque and our very brief time spent on Route 66.
That was fun because that was kind of transitional too. Because even when we were in Boston the first time, we also went to see a friend's wedding, or to be in a. Well, I read in the wedding, but we were to attend a friend's wedding. The C just sounds more like going to see a movie.
Right. Yeah.
That simulcasted.
Yeah, we weren't invited. We just hung out in the
Right.
woods with some binoculars.
Yeah. But that was actually that trip. This is jumping back to Boston. That lets me say that I've been to like New Hampshire, Vermont. And Massachusetts, like within a 28, probably like a 28-hour period or something like that. Anyway, that was on the old one. But I felt like the Albuquerque trip was the first time we went to a trip, now that I think about it now, where I felt a little bit more like an adult. Like we were starting to transition a little bit.
Right. I went and visited, I talked to like their PhD program because I hadn't started my PhD program yet. The other really memorable part of that trip for me is that that's when I discovered my love of Match Game.
Oh, wow. That was that. Because we were in that like cool Adobe place with the whatever. It's not a Kiva fireplace. But
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called either. They're like built into the wall. All fireplaces are built into the wall. Actually, that's not true.
We watched too much of This Old House.
They're like always in the corner though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And they're sort of like part of the wall in a different way.
Not
They
inside.
poke out,
They
yeah.
come out. Yeah. Anyway, but we watched a bunch of Game Show Network, and I discovered Match
Wow,
Game.
that's right. Albuquerque was the origin story for our love of Match Game. New Match Game that came out a couple years ago. Nope.
No, but old Match Game, you can
Yep.
actually find it. Amazon Prime has like a couple seasons that you can watch. If you've never seen original Match Game, like do yourself a favor and go watch one right now.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to. There's a little bit of a lens you have to watch it through, which is it was a time. So there's a little bit of, well,
I mean, just
there's a lot of sexism.
except that it's like the 1970s.
Yeah. But what was also kind of awesome about that is like there's the documentary with Charles Nelson Riley talks about it a little bit, and you kind of hear it some other places, but they were pretty well bombed.
Yeah.
On the show, and they couldn't say things like toilet. There was all sorts of
Weird censorship things.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting.
Anyway, yes, go forth, find yourself a Match Game. Make sure Charles Nelson Riley and Brett are both on there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not getting the full experience.
Yeah, and maybe Richard Dawson too. I think
Richard
that was the height.
Dawson. I mean, Betty White. If you can
Betty
get all
White,
four of
yeah.
them, and Fannie Flagg, who, yes, the author of Fried Green Tomatoes, was strangely a regular on Match Game.
I think she was like a TV writer or something.
Yeah,
And comedian, right? At the time she would have been a comedian.
comedian. I mean, that's what. But now she's most famous for that novel. But But I don't think that was necessarily the case at the time.
But you should definitely avoid the episodes that have Radar from
Radar,
MASH.
God, he's such a dick in real life.
I know. Like, I loved that show when I was a kid, and Radar was like one of my favorite parts of it. But
Well,
man.
he's a good actor. That's what we've learned.
Yeah. Woo. Well, I don't know if he's a good actor, but he's.
Well,
I don't
he
know if
can
he's a
act
very,
like not
very
a
good
dick.
person. Yeah. All right, that seems like a good spot. We're about halfway through the list, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, we'll give a bleep bloop and we'll come right back. Or a wheat woot.
Wheat woo.
So I really wish we were high tech enough that I could have done the transition here with the match game theme.
Oh my gosh, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for indulging our match game aside, but back to, regularly scheduled.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a super context inspired. If anybody's not familiar with you're probably not familiar. I'm sorry.
No.
What's the guy's name?
Charlie Bennett.
Charlie, yeah.
He's a librarian at Georgia Tech, but he also has a great podcast called Super Context, where he talks about popular culture and how it came to be, basically.
Yeah, him and his partner in crime. I forget his name.
Yes, and I do forget his name too. Sorry, Charlie's partner in crime.
Yeah. Anyways, check that one out. But yeah, what other places? So that was kind of our early trips. This one's out of order. This is not going to be a surprise, right? But I think my all-time favorite work trip by far was Japan. When I went like 4 years ago at this point, it was the inspiration for our epic trip that we went to. And it all comes down to I am a little high-strung and a bit of a stress case. I cover it up well. I play a confident person on TV. I almost declined the opportunity to go to that conference.
You tried to turn it down, and your boss kept being like, "No, you should really go." And then I was just like, "No, you should really go."
Yeah. And then you were also the one that was like, "You must stay a little bit longer."
Yes.
And Tokyo, at that point, we hadn't realized you can kind of do it on a little bit more of a budget. But like my hotel room was like $400 or something like that.
It was, yeah, but you only stayed one extra night, so I was just sort of like, whatever.
Yeah. Well, because I looked at getting other places, but it was going to be, it'd be a couple hours of transitioning right in the middle of my day. I just had a good full day of tourism.
Right. I mean, if you're only going to stay one extra day, even if it's expensive, it's worth it to stay there as opposed to try to move hotels.
Yeah.
2 nights would have been a totally different deal.
Yeah, but that's one I would say I wish you could have come with me. It wasn't prudent at the time, but we made an awesome follow-up trip on it. So that's pretty good. I'd say that one. We've talked about Japan plenty, though.
Yeah, we have.
What else do you have for your top?
So let's see. What's my list? Last year, actually. So there's actually been a few times that I've used conferences as a good chance for sort of like reunions. Because I do know so many people through academia that are all scattered throughout the U.S. I had a conference that was in Pittsburgh.
And points others. We got Romania, we got Germany. Anyway.
Well,
so,
I mean.
Yeah, those are harder to.
Yeah. Anyway, so I had a conference in Pittsburgh last year in 2018, and I have a good friend who lives near there, so she came up to stay with us, and then because she was going to be there, 2 of our Atlanta friends came up, and so it just ended up being a really great Pittsburgh reunion of the Atlanta friends. And also, the conference was great. I met some really nice people. It was a small conference. I talked about Paper Girls and Stranger Things, which are both great, pop culture texts to talk about. But so that was a really fun and successful conference for me because the networking was good because it was small. I had, a couple of friends that I then see at other conferences, 3 people, I guess, which was cool. And then as soon as the conference was done, I had all these friends to hang out with.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was fun for me, of course, too, because.
Oh, and I saw Alex and Vicky too.
Oh, yeah. Right. But it was fun for me because I hung out with, our friends during the day. So I'd say if you're a partner or a spouse who's traveling along with your other to their things, I do try to find a balance of the things that we want to do together, hold those for the weekend or for when there's things, and then find things that are a little more could be good, could be bad, right?
Right. I mean, but sometimes your day when you were in Boston doing the all-day training, I did go to the MFA,
right?
Which I know you wanted to do, but it was
I still haven't been there, have I?
Yeah, we went. the second work trip.
Oh, right, we did. Yeah. Because I was thinking of we went to the.
Wait, no, yeah, maybe we did go to Boston the fourth time.
I know there was another time in there. Why would we have been there?
I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you were there with me though once. We were
Yeah,
both
we
there
did
together.
go. It rained, and
Yeah.
whoa, yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Because that was also we saw the stark difference between
Atlanta
riding
public
transit in the South and riding public transit in Boston. At least that train. But there was
Right.
like a pregnant woman with like 87 bags of groceries, like being thrown around on the Green Line or whatever. And no one
got
gave
up.
her their seat. We were standing.
Yeah.
We would have given her our seat. But like, people are kind of aggressive on the Atlanta train sometimes with trying to give up their seat. Like, someone will be like, "Would you like my seat?" And they're like, "No, I'm fine staying." They're like, "Are you sure? You don't want my seat?" And then sometimes they'll just get up anyway.
Yeah. Well, especially for women.
Yeah.
Although that has changed, I think, a little bit since we first moved here.
I think it might have. Now that you say it, I don't see it quite as often.
Yeah. Anyway.
The world's going to hell. Thanks, Trump.
So Pittsburgh was a lot of fun. We stayed in an Airbnb, as we often do. That one was super weird. I think it was run by the Russian mob.
Oh yeah, that was so weird. The dude was just standing out front. Like, we were in the Russian part of town, and there was just like this thick bloke. I don't know how he was, just like had not a lot of neck. It seemed like he had a shaved head, but he had a hat on, like a cap,
yeah.
didn't he?
Yeah, he had a cap
And he was just like standing there.
And then he was like, "Give me your key."
In a Russian accent,
And
or
I was
some
like,
sort of Eastern European
I was supposed
accent.
to put it in the box, and then he gave me the code for the box and was like, "I know the code, just give me the key." And I was like, "All right, see ya."
Yeah. We
Pittsburgh-
were like 2 minutes late checking out, so maybe he was like waiting for us to come out, but still.
Pittsburgh wins the award so far for like worst Airbnbs. Sorry, Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Why is that?
Nashville wins the award for the best ones.
Yeah.
Go Nashville.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm just not even going to really stay in them anymore in Pittsburgh, I don't think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But you mentioned Nashville. We did do Nashville. That wasn't on my list, but I think that's worth mentioning. I used to go to Nashville quite a bit for a customer that I had out there, and Rachel came along with me once. We also went there a number of times on our own, but yeah, it was pretty cool. They've got awesome East Nashville specifically.
Has
Check
awesome
East
Airbnbs.
Nashville for your Airbnb needs.
And actually, I have a upcoming conference in Nashville, and I got a really nice Airbnb that's like borderline tiny house, and it also has a screened-in porch, so it looks pretty fab.
Yeah, I think we mentioned this on another one too. One of the things I like about Nashville, East Nashville specifically, is there's a lot of garages that have been converted into carriage houses with Airbnb space. So you're like on someone's property where they live, and you're not like kicking people out of places. So but you still have privacy of detached house.
Right.
And yeah, they're just nice.
They're
Especially
nice.
because a lot of them are new. But I feel like we've probably talked about Nashville in the past, because I know we've talked about Airbnb stuff. But
Well, that's the episode that we haven't aired though, right? Like
the unaired
Airbnb
episode,
one.
I feel like we came back and touched on it a little bit. Maybe we didn't. Yeah, we had some, I don't know, user error
Yeah.
related to a recording.
Yeah.
But Nashville's always pretty fun for sure. We did the Strip, but I don't know if the Strip is by any means the highlight. I mean, it's not.
No, I mean, for me, always the best parts of Nashville are, there's fun, like, littler clubs over in East Nashville that we've gone to. I
Get some
find the
great
Strip kind of
tacos.
tiring. Not tiring, just like, it's fun, but it's not really my thing, I guess. Johnny Cash Museum is great.
Yeah, and I would say music aside, right? Because we'll listen to anything and have a good time.
Right.
So it's not like we're not into honky tonk music or whatever, but it's a pretty bro-y crowd.
The public library is lovely. The art museum is
Always a little
small,
bit disappointing.
very
It's
small.
always a little bit closed too. You notice that?
Yeah. What a story! Oh, but the gardens, right?
Yeah.
Those are really nice, and I'm not going to be able to remember their name right now. But it's like a mansion.
Folgers? It's part of the Folgers, wasn't it?
It is, but that's not the name of it.
No.
It's in the south side of the city. Anyway, had we been doing a podcast on Nashville, we would have these names for you,
Yeah.
but we're not.
Nope.
Instead, we're just rambling. So let's focus in.
Focus in. All right, so I threw in Nashville, which wasn't on my list. What
Right.
else do you have on yours?
DC. So
DC. I didn't put that on my list. That is a good one.
DC was
That's awesome.
that was our first trip to the Holocaust Memorial Museum, or my first trip to the Holocaust Memorial Museum. Matt's only one, right? I've been a bunch of times since then, which was, my research is Holocaust related, and so that was, it was very impactful. I think it's a great museum. I think the use of architecture and sort of non-representational art is really amazing, and just it's a great experience to go through there.
It's heavy, but it's good.
Yeah. Other like top things like Jose Andres restaurants are always really good.
And interestingly, not his flagship one. Flagship one is good, but
Flagship is Jaleo.
Jaleo, yeah.
I like
Spanish one.
Zatanya, I think is what it's called. That's the Middle Eastern one. That place is really great.
What we haven't been to is fancy
We haven't been to the
limited seating.
Someday
We never
plan ahead.
We aspire to that maybe.
But I mean, I was there in DC, and then Matt actually flew in.
That night,
the night after the conference, right? So there was no overlap. I think my conference must have been weekdays then.
I think so.
And then you came, and then we stayed the weekend.
That was a cool one. That was one of the first times that you were like invited and paid for, wasn't it?
I was invited and paid for.
Yeah, that sounds
not paid, but paid my hotel room and my
invited speaker on that CV.
Yep, indeed. There's 3 of them now. Woo, woo.
Yeah. So I was just before John, because we're getting a little bit long on this one. I would put Savannah on that one on the list of top ones. I wouldn't say it's the number one, but like Savannah's pretty nice. It's not too far. I came out and met you like the last day, I think. And one of the things that I do too is my job does let me work remotely. So like I usually end up taking half days because I just can't focus enough working from a hotel for a full like 8 to 9 hours. But I just bring my laptop. Like that time I actually brought like a monitor.
You
and
usually
a keyboard.
bring a monitor
now.
Yeah.
If we drive to it, I just bring a computer monitor and a keyboard and set up shop, and I just work from the hotel or the Airbnb in that case. And that was a cute Airbnb. It was just that little room.
Yep, it was very nice. It's unfortunately no longer an Airbnb, so I can't stay there again.
Yeah.
Savannah, though, is a real tourist city, as I'm sure people are not surprised. I would say you can definitely do it in a long weekend. Like, you don't really need more than 3 days there. There's plenty of stuff to see. Maybe if you want to go spend a couple days at the beach, you would want to be a little bit longer and go out to Tybee, but really, I think 3 days in Savannah is plenty.
Yeah.
It's probably the same for Charleston, although I'm not going to say for sure because I haven't been there yet, but we're planning on going at some point.
I feel like Charleston has Savannah had some really good food too. We had that table 1080 or whatever the hell it was called. It wasn't that, but it was something on
9 3/4. Oh.
Yeah, something. But it was on the edge of the park.
On the edge of the park, like 9 and 11 were in the name. I'm pretty sure. That restaurant is really good.
But Charleston is like a real restaurant town.
Oh yeah.
So like you might just want to stay there just so you can have enough meals to
That's true.
make your stay worthwhile. All right. So what's your last one of the top ones, or is that did we hit them all?
We've hit all of mine.
All right, we hit all mine too.
Okay.
So let's do another quick bleep loop, and then we'll come back with some close-ups and futures.
Yep.
All right.
Last thing that we wanted to touch on in terms of like sort of work travel, I mean, and we haven't really offered any like tips or whatever, which I will say 2 really quickly. One is that I never order room service because room service is the worst, and that
we know people who order room service, don't we? I just cut you off.
Lots of people love room service. I don't understand
it. No, it just makes the room smell, and you have to look at it when you walk by in the hallway.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's like pooping where you eat or something.
Well, then you are definitely if you're having room service.
Yeah. I mean, I poop in the beds at hotels. I don't know where that came from.
Especially if you eat in the bathroom, as we both make the same joke in more or less offensive manners.
Yeah. Okay. I usually try the bathtub.
So I always try to get out, and I understand some people are more introverted, and that's harder to do. But that's one. And I actually really like staying at Airbnbs where I get to check out different neighborhoods, maybe than what the conference is in. But those are separate things. So the last thing that we wanted to finish up on is we've talked a lot about the places that we've managed to make work going together. one of us gets sent there and the other one will join later or join for the whole time and, amuse themselves while the other person is working. But some cities that I've been to that I think you would have also liked, and I'm sad that you weren't there with me, to come back around to, like where I started with Columbia, is places that I never would have really gone if there wasn't a work thing to do there. And that's Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I've been to Birmingham twice for work.
Oh.
But it's on the like way, I think, south side. It's in like a different suburb.
Right.
And it was always because it's not that far. I just like cannonball in it and then cannonball out. But I stayed the night once, but that was the same thing. It was like there was like an evening event and then a morning thing, and it was just like go, 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 go.
They have a very nice bus station where you can catch the megabus. Very new public transit station. Anyway, I will give a shout out to some of the best mole I've ever had in my life, which was in Birmingham, Alabama.
Holy moly.
Unexpectedly, perhaps. I ate so much food. They put the plate in front of me and then I ate all of it because it was so delicious. And then the waiter came back around and was like, "Nice job." And I was like, "Thank you."
Gave you a high five.
I ate all that food.
Yeah, that's so funny that I've been there twice, and that's where you want to go. That's something we could just do a long weekend for. Maybe that could be our anniversary next year.
Yeah.
The one I'll give, I've got two actually that I was going to say. One that I've been to a few times. Again, like I recently changed roles in my company, so I don't have customers in the same way. So some of my opportunities for travel are going to change. We were talking about this, but I had a customer in Austin, and here's my tips, I guess, right? If you're going for a conference, you don't have a lot of flexibility, right? It's mostly like tack something onto the front, tack something onto the end. If you've got your partner joining you, just try to look for, where that overlap works best. That's obvious. But like, when I had customer visits, I had a little bit of control over when we had those visits. So I would usually say like, "Hey, would you be willing to do it on a Monday or Friday?" And actually, normally I would look for what days work, like what week worked best for me. And then I would probably, because I don't want to be that guy, right? That people are like, "Oh, Monday meetings." But I might say like, "So we talked about this week, like Monday or Thursday would work better for me." Right. And then if they're like Monday, I'm like, sweet. And then I just flew in like early on a Sunday.
Right.
So in fact, that only cost me a couple meals on my own dime. And but Austin is one we tried the last time I went to get you to go, and it wasn't reasonable. Plane tickets were really expensive and you had something going on, and
I haven't been able to make it to Austin.
But Austin's pretty fun. There's this bar called the Jackalope that I go to every time, that my friend Ernie and I went to on accident, that it turned out his sister had gone to like 20 years ago or something like that, and she had fond memories of it. And he was like, "Yeah, my sister said I need to try this bar." And I was like, "Oh, I want to take you to this bar." And we showed up and he was like, "This is the bar." It was like, it was perfect. Which is kind of like Ernie and I's relationship, I think.
Hi, Ernie, if you're listening.
Right. But like the university has a pretty awesome art museum. I went to that one time. They've got a ton of breweries and stuff. It was just, there's a lot to do there.
Yeah. Austin's definitely on our list. I will say also Austin has really great looking, at least I haven't stayed in any of them, tiny house Airbnbs. So.
That seems like the town that would have tiny house Airbnbs.
I know. And there's like this company that sells like, sort of not modular, but like really quick put together tiny houses that I've been trying to convince my parents to buy one of. And Austin has a ton of those.
People should know Rachel's folks live on like a
20-acre
thing, like
property.
out in the western slope of Colorado. So, and have a beautiful, legitimately small house.
Right. One-bedroom house. So anyway, that's why I need my own separate house.
Right.
Not because
the guest house.
I don't need a guest house because I can't stand to be around them, but because their house is only one bedroom.
Right. So the other one I'd say, and this is my company's headquarters, which if you can do the math and figure out who I work for, maybe, but is in Raleigh, and so I go back there once every year and a half or so, maybe a little bit more at this point with my new role, and
yeah, I've never been.
Raleigh's a cute little town. All I ever do is hang out downtown, go to there's a ton of restaurants and stuff, and some bars that are kind of nice. It's just kind of cool vibe. It honestly reminds me of a smaller version of Atlanta.
Okay. So, we're going to wrap up here. I hope you enjoyed our ramblings about various work travel in the past. And I don't know that you got anything out of it, but we had fun doing it.
Yeah. We're hoping to have one or two while we're out in
in the UK. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
talk about. I'm really looking forward to, like, we're going to Wales, and I studied abroad there, but that was a really long time ago. So I'm really looking forward to, like, sort of comparing what it's like 15 years later, 16, I guess, years later, and then introducing Matt to it since he didn't ever get a chance to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're not going to be able to do the fun drunken mile or whatever.
Yeah,
Miracle
Mumbles.
Mile, Mumbles Mile.
Mumbles Mile doesn't exist anymore.
The
For those of you who
I'm sure
are
the road is
familiar
still
with
there.
that. Well, Mumbles, the town is still there.
Yeah.
But the pubs aren't anymore. Anyway.
Yeah, the other thing too, we're going to wrap this one up and run a couple errands, and then we're going to go join two of our friends who just got married last weekend on their podcast, Animal Vegetable Marital, and we're going to be guests on that. So maybe we'll post if we can get the thing, or at least we'll do a little quick link to it or something at some point. So we're guest on that podcast.
Yep.
That was
Later
long.
today.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for listening. I guess we should probably throw some of these things in. We got them in the outro music too, but check us out on Instagram at rainedin_podcast.
Yep.
Facebook, rainedin podcast, no underscore. We've got rainedin at ssdpress.org. If you want to send us emails with any questions, we'll answer anything like that. And thanks for listening. We've got actually a bunch of new listens since our last one, even though it's been 2 months.
So thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening this far.
All right.
You can check us out at anchor.fm/rainedin. That's spelled REINITIN, all one word, no spaces, and you can leave us a message there. You can also follow us at Instagram at rainedin_podcast or email us at rainedin@ssdpress.org, also spelled REINITIN at ssdpress.org. Thanks again to all of our friends and family for all the support and for putting up with this. Have a great day.